What's up, everyone? Oh, sorry. I don't know why I'm just acting weird. D-Crack here, about to react to another video for you guys. And this video is 3 horrifying real cases of home invasion. I don't know about you, but when I was little, I don't know, probably 8, 9, or 10 or so, I always had to sleep with my bedroom door shut because I always thought there was going to be some man like in the middle of the night standing like in the doorway to my bedroom and gonna like kidnap me. I don't know why. I was a weird little kid, but I always thought some guy was gonna kidnap me while I was in bed and my parents were in the other room, so yeah, I was pretty much fucked. But alright, let's go ahead and get started. I have a link to the original video in the description down below. Let's go.
Our houses are usually the one place we can call home and feel isolated from the outside world. At least until someone or something from the outside world enters without consent. I've taken 3 very long, supposedly true horror stories that I've either found on the internet or were shared to me and condensed the stories to fit a nicer length video.
Good job.
Number 1. 19-year-old single child Damien Andrews would drive directly from campus after his last class on Friday to his job at a gas station for 6 hours, and after his shift was done, he'd go back to his parents' house. Usually his parents weren't home on weekend nights, as they were the ones who were more often out drinking. Damien pulled into the empty driveway, and as expected, everything was dark in the house. He needed to put his bike that was still in his trunk back into the shed in the backyard. So he removed the bike from the trunk of his truck and rode it down the pavement past the fence and to the shed. When he shut the shed door, he noticed the bathroom light upstairs in the house was on now. He didn't remember noticing the bathroom light being on when he passed the side of the house, so he assumed that maybe one of his parents stayed home for the night.
I would not
Damien
be going
entered
in
the
that
house through the back door, and as he opened his mouth, ready to call for one of his parents, something deep down told him not to.
I swear I'd be feeling like someone's watching me.
Damien went up the half flight of stairs from his den to the midsection of the house. He looked up the short stairway to the upstairs and saw light creeping into the hallway through the closed bathroom door. So somebody was in there. He went upstairs calling out Mom and Dad. There were no responses, but he was in very close range of the bathroom now, which made it odd. He approached the bathroom door, again calling out Mom and Dad. No response. Damien figured maybe his mom was in the bathtub with earbuds in or something. The door was locked, so one of them had to be in there. When the phone rang, he went downstairs to answer it, to find out it was his dad calling, checking in to make sure Damien made it home okay. His dad sounded drunk as usual per Friday nights, so Damien questioned him as to why he left Mom at home as he walked back upstairs to the bathroom door.
Mom's not home!
His dad seemed confused. Then he noticed at the bottom of the door, through the opening, 2 shadow outlines of feet standing by the door. Literally facing the door right on top of it. Then Damien's dad dropped a bomb and told him that his mother was right beside him at the table. He did the only logical thing he could do. He ran outside, hung up on his dad, and called the police. When Damien looked up to the bathroom window, he saw the light turn off. 10 minutes of hiding in the bushes later, he heard the police out front, who in the end found nobody in the house.
Oh, hell no.
Number 2.
That means they're on the loose.
The protagonist's name was not given in this story, so I'll refer to him as Ted. Ted was 16 years old, and he lived with his dad and brother at their isolated farmhouse. The house was relatively small, with a first floor and a basement. However, it was a huge amount of property with a barn and trees in all directions, providing optimal privacy. There was a long driveway that extended from the side road to the property, which was what Ted was riding down at the moment, returning from his friend's house on his bike. Ted rode into the barn where the family keeps all the bikes, and then headed for the front door of the house. However, on his way, he noticed the basement doors were wide open. Not seeing any cars in the driveway, Ted assumed it was his little brother who, for whatever reason, left them open. Shutting the doors and stepping down into the basement, Ted quickly realized none of the lights in the basement were on. He called for his little brother Andrew, who answered from upstairs. Andrew came rushing
That was my
downstairs,
wife,
turning
by
on the
the way,
light on the
so
way.
just ignore her.
The first thing Andrew pointed out was the foul stench in the basement, but Ted said he couldn't notice anything. Ted questioned Andrew as to why he opened the basement doors and then left them that way. His response was, "I didn't." Ted continually accused him of either lying or forgetting, but Andrew swore he hadn't even been in the basement all night. The disturbing thought that it was left unlocked and somebody entered the house came up, and the two subsequently turned the basement practically upside down looking for anyone, turning up nothing. Andrew said he had been in the living room all night and hadn't heard anything. Plus, he would have noticed if somebody had come upstairs. So Ted felt at ease knowing nobody was in the house. He sat down on the basement couch and started watching TV. That's when he noticed the couch felt kind of weird, less soft than usual. He got up and lifted one of the cushions and screamed. Ted ran upstairs, running into Andrew halfway up, shoving him the rest of the way and locking the basement door behind him. When Ted could finally get some words out, he told Andrew he found a dead body stuffed below the cushions of the basement couch.
Oh my gosh.
The body was later determined to be that of their closest neighbor George, whose wife had also gone missing a few days prior. As far as Ted and his family knew at the time of the posting of this story, the culprit was never found. Number 3. Edward Gallo was 24 years old and was living alone in his newly bought home in a rural Virginia area where he would frequently have his girlfriend Sarah stay over on the weekends. One Friday night, after going a whole day without speaking to her, he decided to call her and invite her over. She didn't answer, so he left a voicemail. It was odd for her to not respond to his calls or texts, so he was starting to get worried that maybe she was losing interest. After calling repeatedly with no response, Ed heard one of the doors closing from downstairs. He breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that she had come over after all. Ed texted her saying come upstairs.
She didn't try to creep up on me and scare me again.
After a few seconds of tinks and thud sounds coming from downstairs, she finally started walking up the stairs. She was walking up really slowly though, as if she were taking 2 steps per stair. Finally, Ed just called out her name in confusion, and the steps stopped. Then Ed's phone began to vibrate, and when he took it out of his pocket, the name on the caller ID was Sarah. He picked up, and immediately Sarah apologized for not being able to get back to him. But he interrupted her and asked her what she's doing on the stairs.
Sarah!
There was a long silence, and then she finally said, "What?" Ed asked again. This time, Sarah informed him that she was still in her car on her way home from work. Ed locked the door, and immediately after, the doorknob started turning. All Ed could think to do was to yell, "Get out of here," before I called the police. Whoever was on the stairs ran all the way back down and out the front door of the house. Ed looked out the window searching for whoever it was and saw the most disturbing thing he had ever seen. Across the road was a tall man wearing a dress shirt and ripped jean shorts, looking directly at him. And despite how far away he was, Ed could see a smile on the man's face before he turned and ran into the woods to never be seen again.
Okay, that's enough of that. I swore I kept hearing something. I kept hearing a door creaking. And that was my freaking wife. I think she was trying to scare me or some shit, but I caught her right before she came in. God. Like, seriously though, call me paranoid, but when I go to bed, I have a habit of, like, I'll go downstairs, I'll check my front door and my back door like at least once or twice to make sure the door is locked. No one's gonna be breaking into my house, I tell you that. Windows too. Always make sure your windows are locked, especially at ground level. don't have time for home invasion. I'm trying to sleep. Man. I don't know what I'd do if I came home though and like seriously like went to my room or the bathroom or somewhere, then heard someone walking on the stairs, and then you think it's someone you know. Like, hey, so-and-so, what's up? And then either you don't hear a response or you hear a voice that you don't recognize. I'd probably shit my pants. Or running, I don't know what I'd do. Hopefully I'd have my cell phone on me, call the police or something, but geez, that was crazy. Yeah, like I said, I'll have a link to the original video in the description. If you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Till next time, peace.